Okay, hello. And today I think I have my sound correctly. I think I have my lighting done right. We shall see. But I have quite the setup. I'm like pleased that I have all the equipment, and I'm shocked how much equipment it takes. So we shall begin. Today I am doing Marjorie Taylor Greene. May 27th, 1974 is her birthday, and she's from Mill Edgeville, Georgia. She was one of the 139 representatives who challenged the electoral formalities that had nothing to do with the law. The law says they just read the electoral, and everybody goes on. But this Marjorie Taylor Greene was somebody who participated in the takeover of the government, voicing support for conspiracy theories. Okay, and she's participated in several different conspiracy theories. One she's known for is Pizzagate. Now, I mean, I live in this world, but I swear I don't know why I don't understand these movements. As you know, maybe I just don't tune in enough. But Pizzagate, Save the Children movement. Now, what's interesting is I have myself been concerned about the children and whether or not there's a problem. I mean, I kind of feel like if there is, we need to be aware of it. So, Pizzagate. QAnon, Stop the Steal. She views current times as herself being the truth seeker, looking for the things that go bump in the night to establish her position. And then she's false flags, NRA stuff. So she has a bachelor in business from the University of Georgia. She founded and sold CrossFit gyms. Her Twitter was locked January 17th, 2021, due to her inciting behavior. And she's had multiple violations with her tweets, and that whether or not she's going to keep her account at this rate, who knows. She now owns, her and her husband, a construction company, and they are evangelical Christians. Approximately 28 hours into Joe Biden's presidency, she filed articles of impeachment for things she alleges he did years ago. And that him residing, quote, in the White House is a national security threat and abuse of power, unquote. She claims that the election was stolen from Trump after getting her Twitter back. She was making that basically President Biden of the communist China. She disparages people due to color and religion. She says that the Capitol building being attacked by white supremacists is total BS, that they just wouldn't do that. So, I mean, I think that just puts us right clearly where we need to be. We see the truth right there. Okay, now I'm going to talk about her aspects. She has Sun square Jupiter. She's stubborn and has trouble with her career choices. Her judgment is off, and difficulty with authority. She's not supported for some of her positions, and she goes against tradition. And boy, we've had a lot of these. And I mean, I think that it's interesting why there's so many, and I'd like to kind of try to figure out why. But Sun opposition Neptune at odds with her dreams or the mystical, keeps ambitions practical, fears deception, and may result in disillusionment of ideas that can fall flat. Now here we are. We've got this woman in a position where that just might be her story. Okay, and then we've got Mercury conjunct Saturn, deliberate, appreciated when others make social moves, and she will then follow those social moves. So In other words, she's not going to be the inventor of conspiracy theories, but she surely will follow them. And I'm going to say some things about this that my sister is a counselor, and she one day pointed out in the midst of all of this, because we've been going through it as federal employees over the last 4 years. We're just people. We punch a time clock. We're like anybody. We are not the deep state. And basically, it's been a hard 4 years. And so what happened for me at somewhere along the way is I was starting to fill in the blanks and tell myself, well, it means this and it means that. And my sister so very kindly helped me to understand that, Debbie, don't fill in the blanks just because you don't know the story. Keep that part of the story open. Let that come in through mindfulness. So I want you to realize that we can let things, we can just let things be. Okay, so then she has Mercury square Pluto, and I don't even know why I went there, but there it is. Getting personal is a real mistake with her. She has a bad case of bad self, and bad self is a hard one. I've been working through that one myself, where we grow up just feeling there's something about us that's just not quite right, and that we're not comfortable. And where does that come from? Well, I'm, like I said, I'm in this program, and this program I'm in, it takes astrology and psychology, and it builds it up together to become a tool that helps us understand our psyche. And I just have to say that when you get into this, a lot of time, the first 5 years of your life, the information you have is your foundation. That's how you go forward. And if it started out rough, it's easy for you to convict yourself of crimes you never committed. And so with that, she's got a case of bad self, and she's telling herself things that comport to that bad self, and that's sad. I mean, hurt people, okay? She's got Venus square Mars, does not care for emotions, troubled by being pushed by emotions or emotional attentions. She wants things airtight, and she'll get non-cooperative when they're not airtight, okay? And she'll project onto others, and I think we're seeing that. What is she doing with Biden? She's kind of projecting, I think, some of the concerns and fears that we all on the other side had about Trump. So, I don't know. It's a very interesting little thing. Then we've got Venus square Mars, does not care for emotions, troubled by being pushed. Okay, yeah, airtight, I've already read that one. Venus opposition Neptune, has her own ideas about love and beauty, and not into tradition. Again, that theme is going to be repeated. She ignores her feelings, okay? Let's see. Then she has Mars square Neptune, insistence on tradition, clashes. She's fighting for freedom, and it may cause her to get cut off. Okay, I think she has a really serious risk of being. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of California. Come on, girlfriend, be smart. Don't be silly. Okay, and her attempts at being different do cause hurt feelings. She's, again, this is another one of these people that that you just have to wonder, what are they thinking? Okay, Jupiter square Neptune, settles for less than she dreams about in her career and requires special attention, or she becomes compromised and unrealistic. Well, what are we seeing? We're seeing somebody who's quite compromised and quite unrealistic. Thank you very much. And she's got Saturn square Pluto. Organization tends to hide behind duties and responsibilities, avoids change, and erupts when things don't make sense to her. She likes things to be tidy, and she's in a constant state of tension. All right, her descendant is February 7th, 2021. And I would say by February, she is going to have information that she's going to need to answer to. Okay, and I don't know if that's going to be censure or just what it is, but some things will start taking place. I wrote a couple of these down because she sort of starts getting into difficulty, and I'm not going to do all of them because there's a lot. But she has Saturn square her midheaven, February 23rd, 2021. It starts running right into home and career for her. She starts having difficulty with both. Then it's Jupiter opposed Moon on April 19th, 2021. Career security, real threat. Challenges, not beneficial. And I wrote down here dis-ease, because I'm seeing this in the 6th house of career. And career, the 6th house is also going to be your health. So this is starting to kind of push on her health a little bit, and rightfully so. I feel like a lot of people are really violating some universal laws, so of course. And then we've got Pluto square Venus, June 3rd, 2021. She is going to be aware of a need for inner growth. She's going to be questioning who she is, what she's done, and why she's done it. And, so who knows, if there's going to be consequences for her actions. I find myself just utterly shocked that Biden's been in office one day, and they're talking about, well, no, you can't impeach Trump. It's divisionary, and we need unity, and blah, 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 blah. But they go to impeach Biden on day one. So, I think we all know the game they play, and it's a pretty disgusting one, and it's really time for the people of the United States to not allow the game playing to happen anymore. And with that, we will do our cards and our taroscope, and we'll get going. Thank you so much for joining me here. Okay, so we're going to use the Guardian Tarot for our taroscope today, and so I'm going to go ahead and select 12 cards. So spread these out, and this lady does the Crow Tarot, and right now I do feel like those of us who do tarot, we are kind of the watchers at this point. We are sort of watching and telling the story as it happens, and so I'm just asking for Marjorie Taylor Greene, this taroscope, for the cards that sort of tell me, and I got 2 cards, so I'll just go ahead and keep those. To go ahead and tell me to assist us in reading the natal chart. Because, well, what's interesting is so many of these people have this revolutionary energy right now, and we're just really seeing it. I'm going to count how many I have. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anyway, 11 and 12. And I find it quite curious, so many people, and it has something to do with Uranus and how the moon or the sun affects, or how their aspects line up to Uranus, because Uranus is kind of your revolutionary, sudden and unexpected, and there's so many reasons why we could be seeing these things, but at any rate, so many people have it that it is curious. It's worth looking into. So we just had a presidency, and and a virus that's raging out of control, and people not really concerned about this. And so it's like our level of self-care has somehow lost its way. So with that, I'm going to turn the camera over. I'll show you this, but you'll be seeing it again. It's a 2 of Wands, and I'm going to put the camera up over on my taroscope so you can follow along. And there we go. Okay, this starts out with our foundation as a 2 of Wands, and I'm going to just put that here, maybe. Yep, there it is. Okay, so it starts out as a foundation, a 2 of Wands, and then let's go to her chart. Okay, I have done on the inner is her natal. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, born May 27th, 1974. I use a birth time of 12 noon. She's born in Mill Edgeville, Georgia. Her second is her transits, And her third is her progressed. So that is how the chart is laying out. She is the lover, and her rising is Cancer. And let's see here, I didn't do her elements. Okay, so she's got 4 earth. Let's see, what's her midheaven? Fire. And then her moon is fire. So she's got 4 fire, 2 earth, 4 air, and 2 water. So, you know, pretty balanced, but her natal chart is a wowzer. She's got what looks like a pentagram in terms of her aspects, and 3 oppositions. She's a fairly complicated soul. She's known as a lover in her star type, and her rising sign is Cancer. She starts out in her natal with moon in Leo, and not the best placement for the moon, but because that has got to line up with Mars that rules the soul, because it's usually Mars and Aries. Okay, so the moon has to come in and has to dispose of Mars, and it's not a comfortable disposition. And then in her outer, let's see, she's into sacrifice, which sacrifice of what? I think that she's kind of she's sacrificing herself and her position in a way that might lead her to be in the limelight in ways she doesn't really want to be, okay? And what does she get? The Queen of Cups. She thinks she's coming in and she's providing us this loving way forward, and that she holds a piece of information in her cup that is going to provide this revelation about Joe Biden. And well, I just don't think so. I don't think that she's got the goods, okay? I mean, I think that she's a follower, and she has so believed that this is a good thing that she's involved herself in. She's got, you know, she's highly mercurial. Her all of her planetary energy stems from Mercury, her thoughts, okay? So you know, keep that in mind. And then it floats on to Venus, having things look a certain way. Okay, in her second house, she has pride of ownership, and in her, she has, that's in the objects, okay, or the second house. And she gets the 7 of Cups. She's operating in a state of delusion, okay? And in that card, I noticed that there is a heart. There's like a bird that's providing information that's going to lead back to her losing things like money, objects. She will have a broken heart. And that card is also known as the illusion and delusion card, which, you know, sorry to say, it fits, you know, it does. I think she's functioning in some alternate reality right now, okay? Thinking that 1, you can overthrow the government, and 2, after you've overthrown the government, you miss the mark by who knows how much, a lot, and you think then you can go in and make a legal argument for the overthrowing of the government. I think that you're not functioning in the real world, okay? And and that's in the second house ruled by Venus. In the third house, ruled by Mercury, okay? She has in the inner Pluto in Virgo, which is going to relate to her career. And she has Uranus in Libra. She's analytical. She's precise. She's a detective in some ways, as she researches, and she's into the different. This is going to be ruled by Mercury. In her outer, she has moon right on her midheaven in Mercury. So, or not Mercury, in Virgo, excuse me. And, you know, all of this is lining up to be a rough transition for her. And what she gets is her chickens are coming home to roost. She gets a major arcana. She's basically about to find out that when you break the law, there are consequences. And when you break the law, and the new vice president is previously an attorney general of the state of California, you might want to have thought about that before you found yourself in that particular situation in the House of Information. And what does she get? She has, let me see, I'm on the fourth card. She has, in the House of Roots, she has her part of fortune in Libra. She's into fairness. Her roots, she's about the past. She wants things to go backwards. She when she looks in the mirror, she idolizes something from the past, and to her that is the best way. And what she gets is the Hanged Man, okay, and that possum, it's kind of black and white. She's going to be hung up by her own doing in the House of Roots that's ruled by Moon, that the part of fortune has to come in and make sense out of it in Libra, and say, okay, I'm here, and what is the good fortune of the roots in my life, in the fairness from the present and the past, okay? And in the 5th house, she has Neptune in Scorpio. Again, that Neptune in Scorpio, 5th house, ruled by Sun, the house of drama. She's got her North Node in Scorpio. She's creative, she's imaginative, she's intense, she's passionate, and she's personal. On the outer, she's got Pluto. And Pluto and Scorpio, the house of sex, death, and rock and roll, come right on into this drama, okay? And she gets the 8 of Pentacles. She's been working hard at getting things lined up for a purpose. What purpose? Well, who knows? And she's got her midheaven in the middle part, coming up, so, I'm thinking that there's going to be some things that, as this unfolds, it's going to get rough. And so here we go, right on into the 6th house of career. And she has Black Moon Lilith. That is going to indicate extreme wounding. That is going to be ruled by Mercury. Okay, and on the inner, she has her, let's see, she's got her ascendant, her midheaven, okay, in Sagittarius. So, she believes fervently, and she conjunct with Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. So, it appears that maybe from a past life, that she's had some wounding in the house of career. In her outer chart, she has Venus, Saturn, she has Uranus and Neptune, and none are conjunct. So, they're all aspects in Sagittarius that are right now in her progressed chart. And what does she get? She gets the 3 of Cups. That process of these relationships that she's in are going to be closely examined, and that wounding from or wounding now in her career in Black Moon Lilith, something is going to happen, and there's going to be some clear communication about what all might be the consequences of her actions. And I think that you start out, I know that from the point of view of a federal employee, that each administration, you let all of your perspectives go and you tune into what the issues of the day are, and you realign yourself. And I don't think that she understands this point very well. I mean, inexperienced is what this looks like to me. And there are very clear consequences in the government for when you misbehave. Trust me, there are clear consequences. Okay, in the 7th house of partnerships, okay, ruled by Venus. We want it to look good. We want it to feel good, okay? She's practical. She's distanced in her perspectives, okay? And she, in her middle, she has all kinds of activity, and in her outer. So her transit chart right now, she has Venus in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn. Things are feeling cold. And then it goes on, she has her ascendant in Aquarius, very tightly connected to Saturn Sun conjunction, and an orb of 4 points in Saturn in the 8th house. So it gives you some idea. Girlfriend is going through a lot right now and thinks she's got the world by the tail in the house of partnerships, but she's about to find out in her progressed that in her midheaven that things ruled by Venus again, Sun and Mercury. Some of the things that she's exposed to are about to come to task. And what she gets is the Queen of Wands, Kamala Harris. You can't have people on the 6th of January that you work with feeling threatened for their lives and not understand that in the long run there will be some consequences for those actions. Now, although she was not maybe the main architect behind the 6th of January, she certainly was an agitating factor, and that is going to be considered, and I think she should have thought about all this. In the 8th house, cutting through, okay, she has Jupiter in Aquarius, and that's going to be, this is the 8th house, sex, death, and rock and roll, is ruled by Pluto. In her middle chart or center, she has Mercury, okay. Basically, she's cutting through, and what's happening is she's going to get Biden. She thinks that she's cutting right through, and that she's going to say to Biden, you're going to go. I have decided it. But what's going to happen, I mean, everything is reflective, everything. And what's going to happen is if you challenge the emperor, then you might be disrobed, okay? That just might happen to you. So I think that she has decided something that maybe she shouldn't have, okay? In the 9th house of higher education, of foreign, she wants truth, and she suffers a lot of disappointment due to her beliefs, okay? And she has Chiron conjunct Venus in Aries, okay? In her natal, in Aries, excuse me. And then in Pisces, in the center, she has Neptune in Pisces. So she's kind of dreamy here, right? She just is. And then she's got Jupiter in Pisces, you know, in her outer. I mean, she's wanting to expand something, you know, the higher calling that she has apparently, and she's wanting the dream to become our reality, but she's rushed in where others fear to tread for a reason, okay? In her outer, she has Mars in Aries, okay? So yeah, you know, she's in a fight with us, a fight for what she thinks is a fight for her soul, but it's a fight for the soul of America, and, you know, and our system as we know it. And she gets the 10 of Wands. Decisive action is being taken against her at this time. And, you know, really, how very sad. I mean, as she takes action, as she's brand new to this whole thing, and she starts out, I guess, really wanting to please the powers that be, her friends at Q, and look at where it's leading her, right to trouble. And it is so sad. I mean, it really just is sad that these people think they can do things like this. In her 10th house, she's a pioneer. She's apt to think first and act later in Aries, okay? And that is ruled by Saturn, okay? In her center, she has Uranus, and it's conjunct in the 11th, Mars, okay, in the center chart. And then she's got her ascendant on the outer. And all of this has to come in and be handled by Saturn. Limitations, okay? She wants deep truth, but, you know, what is deep truth? I mean, really, what is it? And this Uranus energy, I totally appreciate it. I've got Sun and Uranus in the 9th house. I completely appreciate the need for a revolutionary piece of information, but overthrowing your government just goes a step beyond reality, okay? It just does. And what does she get? She gets the 4 of Swords, okay? She is in just a good deal of trouble. And in that sense, the 4 pillars of thought are going to be that she is not going to be keeping her job, okay? Because this is in the 10th house of government where she works. And in a lot of respects, it's all going to go back to Saturn. She's got limitations that she cannot overcome in all ways. Those limitations are here to remind her, and you know, and this is she's going to understand her limits. You know, that ascendant in the middle chart, it's Mars conjunct Uranus, and then in the outer it's her ascendant. You know, and I don't know, I would be very uncomfortable if I were this woman. And in her age category, as we speak, this comes right up that, you know, her North Node is also there at 15 degrees in the outer. Something is about to change for her when you take the age progressed part of this into consideration. That would be a problem for her. Okay, and in the 11th house, she has in her natal Sun in Taurus, okay, and she's got her South Node in Taurus. She leads or involves herself in secret groups. She's a seed of impulse and wants to grow a process that is secretive, and basically, essentially, we're not allowed to know. Then she's got Mercury in Gemini, okay? There is some kind of thing that she knows about that she wants to impose upon the people, and she gets the 9 of Pentacles. That there's been a lot of hard work that has gone into this process of sort of revolutionizing and taking over the government, and she's largely involved in it up to her eyeballs. So this should be, I mean, really, I hope we make a bunch of movies about this, and so, you know, my Professor Glenn Perry can give us all the natal details, and I'm certain it'll be fascinating. Right now I have a movie to watch for my homework, because a lot of times when people, you know, write, they're unwinding and telling you about their natal chart, which is fascinating. You don't know it, but it's fascinating, okay? In the 12th house, the unseen, okay, she has in her natal, she has Saturn in Gemini, okay? She's going to be limited in the information she can provide. And remember, she had Mercury in Gemini as well. Those are conjunct, okay? And in her center, she has Moon conjunct North Node in Gemini. How she feels, what her North Node's starting to come into it, why she's here in the first place, and it's about to come to some reality for girlfriend, okay? And that is ruled by Neptune, okay? And then she again has that Mars in Cancer, just right at the very end of the 12th house. Basically, she is, you know, she's looking to come in the unseen and be aggressive to the family. And she gets the King of Pentacles. It's going to cost her. It is going to be a very bad deal for her. And if you look at that card carefully, you can see the ghosts of an owl. And here comes right behind it a King of Swords. That, you know, there is going to be a good deal of intellectual consequences for her attempting to shatter the relationships that people have. But do note that we have cups standing. It's not all lost, and that now that we understand that there really is a large group of people having a lot of problems with how things are, we have some opportunities to maybe look at why and do something about it, because I personally do not care to have so many angry people as my friends and neighbors. I would just prefer that healing take place. And with that, the world is watching, and you know, and I hope that we are able to bring this to a close in a positive way that helps both sides, because really, quite frankly, I'm not interested in blame. I'm not interested in the shame of the moment. We got here for a reason, and probably highly complicated reasons. And no matter what, it isn't so simple as hating somebody for their position on this. We all have work to do. And with that, I would ask that you please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And do join myself and my lovely co-reader, Pearl Rowland, over on www.twiggie.com. And go in, look at the astrology services. We have tarot services. I highly recommend, if you're somebody who's struggling right now with the emotionality of what all has gone on, please, by all means, go check out our site. You know, I personally think that personal work is here. It's time. It's now. And I do thank you for joining me here today.